Well, here is what we've got going on for today. We are waiting for this corn to dry down a little bit, and we're knocking these items off of the list of what we have going on here as far as fixing this and fixing that. So Jared has limped this truck along for the past year, and now he's to the point where he would like to replace this transmission, and he just pulled the plug out of it, and there's a lot of glitter in the engine or the transmission oil. Oh, look at that, all kinds of stuff there. So he's got a transmission on its way. Gonna be here in a couple days, providing we don't have another truck breakdown. He should be able to get that in there. We're moving mixer wagons around here. We're swapping out the white one here for the red 1200. This white one needs knives on the mixer screws. Needs a tire or three. And we're gonna do some corn samples here. They're replacing knives right now. You guys in there? I thought they were in there. They're not in there, removing knives. But at any rate, what we're gonna do now is we have some corn cut from a couple of different fields. We've done a couple of samples already. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this mulcher started up. We're gonna run each sample through it into a burlap bag, or a, well, it's not a burlap bag. They make them out of plastic anymore. And then we have two coster testers. We're gonna put 100 grams of material in each basket, put it on the coster tester, let it sit on there for 45 minutes to an hour. When we take that sample and reweigh it, if the sample goes from 100 grams to 35 or 6 grams, that'll give us an idea that there's 64, 5, 6% moisture in the corn, and it's go time. We've done 3 samples so far. We had a 75, a 68, and a 63. The 63, I don't believe. We've gone back and grabbed another sample from the 68 and the 63 fields, and we grabbed a third field as well. We are also going to get into firing the chopper up. We're going to go into some corn that's right around the barns here, and we're going to test that out. So let's go ahead and get this guy started, run the sample through. I'll have to get Jared to hold the bag around the spout on it. I don't like to blow everything on the floor because I like to grab everything. All of the dry stuff, if you let that blow out of the sample, you don't get a real good average. So we'll go ahead and get this guy fired up. All right, so Jared's got the bag on the outlet side of this unit, and just like everything else around here that has a recoil on it, usually we break the recoil. We deal with restringing it, and we deal with having to buy a new one because the dogs break on it and everything else. Well, we ended up welding a contraption on here so that we can start it with an impact. You ready, Jared? You might have to run the choke and everything because I'm only one-handed here. So, all right. Oh, I gotta get my battery on the drill, or on the impact. quite welded on there straight, but that bolt being 3 inches long, it's kind of got her cock wobbled a little bit.
Sure, it'll be fine.
But, oh well. All right, so we'll clean the throat out. Then we'll put this sample on one burner. We'll note what time we start this. We'll grind up that one there. And get that one on the other burner. And then our third sample, we will have waiting in the bag, and we can put that on the burner once we get done. So we come on over here to our dope scales. We've got 2 of them. One works a little better than the other one. So we'll go ahead and turn this guy on. We measure in grams. Mode. Ounces, grams. All right, we got to dump our little container out here. Dump that one out. We'll dump this one out too. And we will pull 100 grams out of this sample that we have ground up. And then we'll write our times down here. We'll go ahead and start over a new page. So we'll just write this on down here. So if you go ahead and measure out, what are you kind of starting with? The old one? Yeah, that's the old one. So we weigh 185 grams empty. And we are starting this sample at 3 p.m. We have Hudson and Cleverly. Now, we can add, so we haven't got a zero balance to scale or anything. So that's easy math. We just add 100 to 185, and that's 422.5 ounces. Is that 100? Oh, we better get our phone out. Do we want to get our phone out?
No, I think you got it right.
Okay, we're 265, 260 rather. 275, no, it was 185. So you got to put 10 more on there. 10 more grams. It's almost like we're weighing out dope here. All right, we are 285. So we are the old burner, new burner. We are 285 starting. And we'll go ahead and put that on that one. So now we will grind up our other sample here.
What are we doing, dumping this on the floor?
Dumping it right. Down in there. Alright, so you guys get the idea. Weigh out that sample, get that on the burner. We'll grind up our third one. Alright, so Jared has discovered a little issue. The scale on the left is what we've always used. That one reads in increments of 1. So 286 grams is 286 grams. This one on the right rounds up. So when you're buying dope, make sure they use the scale on the right. You'll get more bang for your dollar, right?
We will.
Yeah. So you bought that one to measure what, manure or something?
Yeah, we weighed manure to see how much our trucks held per gallon.
You weighed
I think that the problem is this scale is actually for like
heavier
20
items.
pounds or whatever. Kind of like your scale up there reads in tens. And that scale, this is the scale you actually use to weigh your dope.
Yeah.
That's the scale you use to weigh your manure.
Yeah. All right. So you can hear these things cooking away. And you can hear them cooking away in that mixer too. They're cutting bolts off of the knives. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grind up the third sample. We'll bag that, leave it in the bag. No moisture should escape us because we've got somewhat of a controlled environment in here, leaving it in the bag itself. Okay, so this is going to be the first of the corn silage for 2023. Now what we have here is a little pathway we've got to make over to the woods over there because my brother's got a horse that he is going to need to bury here in a few days. So I've got to get my display set up here. Need to be able to switch over to my camera. Okay, we got that going. We got Jared in behind us here. Which button is it that folds my head out? There we go. Fire up the cutter head here. And I'm suspecting this is gonna be, I don't know, probably 70% moisture at least. But we're only going to chop a small load because we're feeding this as a green crop here, so we don't want to go real crazy here. So I've got to chop a little ways here, and then what we need to do is we need to change fields on the display. That's going to take a hot minute. And yeah. Alright, so the moisture on this crop currently going through the chopper right now is 72.8. That's right about where I figured it to be. Actually, I thought it would have been a little greener than this, to be honest with you. Or I thought it would have a little more moisture to it than this. Jared just asked something. I don't know what he asked, so I've got to get to the end here. No, I'm alright.
Making a noise like I haven't heard it made before. It sounds real whistly.
Well, get out and see what it does. See what it's making for a noise. I gotta change the display anyway. 72%.
It only makes the noise when you're chopping, but it just doesn't sound like anything that I've followed.
better take a look here, I guess. Alright. We're gonna have to chop with the door open, I guess. He hears something squeaking. He thought it was a turbo boost leak or something. Maybe half of what we need chopped. That's it for what we're going to chop today here. This was 75 on, you know, this stretch here in this field. Did you hear that squeak then?
Yeah, it still seems to be making a weird, like almost undetectable, but kind of high-pitched, like squeak, like that sounds like a boost leak, you know what I mean? Like that same kind of like brushing noise.
Oh, okay. Alright, yeah, Christ, I don't know.
Maybe it's the KP from not being ran enough, but
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. Okay, we are folded up and he is backing out of the field here. And yeah, I don't see any spots where we got juice running out of the chopper. I've seen that before, so, but you can see we're real green here. All right, let's get this back up to the building. We'll have to get a look-see on this and see what it's doing here. All right, it is now Saturday morning. Jared's a little closer to getting that transmission out of that Mack, but we've got a couple of oddball things to do today. He heard that noise on the chopper last night when we chopped that a little bit, so he's got to go ahead and throw this camera on the truck and see if we can't hear that noise on this camera that he was referring to. He thought it was a boost leak on the engine. So hopefully it turns out to be a nothing, but we're gonna go ahead and see if we can't hear that noise and chop a little bit further around that field so they can get to their spot where they want to bury their horse. All right, we just got done feeding cows. We're getting ready to grab the chopper out of the hay barn. We're gonna run down the road and chop around the outside of that one field that we worked on here last night. I wanted to bring to you guys' attention that Olight is having their Old Fan Day sale, and that is going on right now. That's gonna run for, I don't know, 3-4 days. Click on the link in the description to get all the particulars. If you don't take advantage of any of their promotions, type in Andy FFF and you'll get 10% off of the non-sale items. They just came out with the Seeker 4 Pro. It's come with an updated case. It originally came with like a nylon fabric type case with a was it a Velcro? Or no, it was a clasp type enclosure. I had originally bought this case here. The light goes in it upside down and it clips into place. This case works very nice for working on welding projects, torching and whatnot. You don't have to worry about sparks getting on top of the lens because the light is in upside down. However, this case here is on your belt a little wide. It comes out, the light comes out a little wider than the other one here. You can see that it sticks out a little farther, and the light is up a little higher above your belt. The new case here, the light goes in it vertically. You have to pull the light out from the top. You put the light in with the switch going towards your belt, and the switch won't accidentally get turned on. This case also acts as the charging point. They do give you a bracket where you can, if you choose not to put this case on your belt, you can clip this case onto a wall mount or what have you, plug your charger in, but you only have to charge these things like once every other week or so. Originally, I didn't think I was gonna like this case because it clips onto your belt. However, it's got a pretty good lip on there. It will not come off your belt. The light does not charge anymore from the magnetic charger like the other ones did. I have the Seeker 2 Pro along with the other one here. This is a Seeker 3. The Seeker 4 will also work in the older style case. If you guys prefer this one, it does work in that case as well. The magnet on the Seeker 4 is a little stronger than the magnet on the Seeker 3. In other words, you could stick it to whatever you're working on and it is going to, of course, stay in place. With this case mounting closer to your person, there's not as much of a concern for sparks to drop down on top of the light. If you balloon your shirt, if your shirt ends up sticking down over the top of it, sparks really aren't gonna come into contact with the lens, but I feel that it might be a concern for some of you. They also have a Baton 3 Pro in a different design that has come out. They have these lights in a lot of different colors. They also sent me the Seeker 4 Pro in brilliant orange or bright orange. I have a Baton 3 that's orange. This is the one that I clipped to my hat. So enough shilling for now. Check all the particulars on their website. And we are now going to jump in the chopper, run down the road, and finish chopping that outside time around that field. My brother has a horse that he needs to put down, and they wanted to bury it on the one north end of that one field. And the corn was planted later. It's not in our schedule to chop that now, but he needs to get to that point. And when I was into it last night, we were coming up with 75% moisture. So it's a couple weeks away anyhow. So let's go grab the chopper and we'll chop around the outside portion of that one field there. in the shop here now. Jared said he did not hear any whistling noises from the chopper, and then the more he got thinking about it, he said, you know what, I'm in a different truck. Truck's a little quieter. Maybe the sound that I was hearing was just the whistle coming from the turbo. So Andrew's got his little truck in here. He ordered these tires off of, I think it was eBay or something the other day here. We're gonna see if these fit on there. You got a smoking deal on these. And we're gonna take the front tire off, dismount it, mount one of them up on there. He's thinking he might have to put a lift kit in this. He's kind of leaning that way anyways, to be honest with you. He kind of thinks that that's what the route that he wants to go in, don't you? Yeah. All right, so we've got the air jack underneath there. We'll go ahead and jack it up, pull the tire off, see if we can't get a front one dismounted, mount one of them up, fit it on there, and see what it all looks like. Go. Pump this guy up. There we go. Yeah, I think they're 3/4 maybe. These might be a little bit of a challenge, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to lie, they might be a challenge. Okay, we'll use our white lightning tool here, or solution to get this. Use this as some tire lube. Let's see if we can't break that guy loose there, Bob. These tools might be a little too aggressive, but we're going to try the big tire tools. Go ahead and whack this with a hammer. Try not to. Try not to bend the rim. Trick is to, when you hit the tire, you're not necessarily hitting right here, you're hitting there and you want to pull it. And then as it hits in there, it'll wedge itself. These little guys, I don't know. We've got tire tools that are designed for large tires. Wow, this is going easier than I thought. Usually small tires are harder than the big ones. All right. Oh, I know, we should have a tire machine, you know. There dealing with, this looks like a bi-directional tire. We're going to need that Cheetah over there. We got a center drop. Yeah, Cheetah should do it. Trouble with these tires is they're smushed together. These damn tires are squished together. And it's trying to put both speeds on at the same time. that hard now, was it? Now, we might be able to get that to air up because it's a small tire. Alright, stand over in behind me here. See if this doesn't work. Whoa! It worked, but we should have had air going at it quicker. Alright, here, you hold this hose. Alright, get ready to hand me that hose. We gotta be a little quicker here. Alright, where's them guts? Alright, hand me that tool. Okay, I don't know how much air pressure we got in there, but we can finish filling it up with air. Once we get it up on there, boy, I don't know, they might work. Huh? What? Well, we got to put it on the front, because the front has to do all the maneuver in here. No? Huh?
I think they're gonna just barely work.
Yeah. This is 17. Alright, so I don't know. Get it down off the jack and then do a, you know. Alright, this looks like it's probably not gonna work. Hits the inner fender there. Definitely rubs, but it just rubs right there and on the back side. Why don't you very carefully go outside with it? Back up. Let's watch it when it goes off this concrete. Turn it all the way. Back up. All right, turn it to the right. Yeah, it's rubbing too hard. Turn it back the other way. All right, go forward. Now turn to the right slowly. Yeah, you got past that mud flat. We're gonna have to switch it back. Go back inside. Just go. All right, well, that doesn't work. That hits. So we'll have to dismount that, get the original tire back on there. And yeah, he's gonna need a lift kit, I guess. So, well, all right, let's get things switched back. We tried. Well, being that this one had been mounted already, I thought sure that it was going to seat itself up. That's not the case. Come on. Come on. Come on. Alright, now get this little guy on there. Oh. There's that. Well, we tried. Now we're going to move on to the next project here, which is the chopper. I finally got around to ordering up, well, you'll see once we get the chopper in here, as to what we're going to install into it here. So, we'll let him get this backed out. He's gonna have to go with a smaller tire. These guys here are just way too big. They're a 25-inch tire. Jared seems to think he should have went with a 20-inch tire. So, yeah, we'll have to see what we can do about getting some 20s, right, Bob?
We're looking at 21s right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're getting ready to close out this video here. It is Sunday morning. And we're thinking tomorrow is the day that we are gonna try chopping some corn. We did a fair amount of moisture samples. We've got an idea of what we're working with. However, it is right on the edge. It's not quite ready, but the calendar's telling us that we need to get going. So what we're gonna do here now, before we close out this video, we're gonna actually put a two-way radio in this chopper. We have run CBs for years, and for the last couple years, we haven't even used them. They are just so unreliable as far as being able to have the guy on the other end receive the call or receive what you're telling them, and it just, you know, we just got to the point where we weren't even using them, and we had CBs and everything. All of the trucks any of the tractors that had anything to do with anything. In other words, if they were going to go into the field, they had a CB in them. The tractors on the mixer wagons, they didn't have CBs just because, you know, whatever. So what I have here is a Midland. It is an MXT 575. Now I chose to go with this one because it has the controls on the actual mic itself. In other words, I can turn the volume up, down, right from the mic, and I haven't got to reach up and grab on to the radio itself. And I thought if I chose to not mount this where I have the CB mounted, I could kind of have it inconspicuously mounted as far as long as I have enough cord from the actual mic itself. I did order a couple more of these. We're not too sure how well we're going to like them, so we're not going to get into putting them in everything right away. However, what I did order was 8 of these little tiny handheld units, which will work good for being just inside the field. And a guy can grab one of these. There's a charger that they go on to. It was like $300 for a packet of 8 of them. When we go to putting actual hardwired radio in everything, if that's the route we go in, these things here we can use around the farm, use them sporadically or intermittently in something that doesn't have a radio, just to get by for a couple minutes or a couple of days rather. So let's go ahead, we'll pull the CB out of this thing and we'll install the two-way radio in it, and then we'll just have to kind of see how they go. They work great for most guys. However, we are in hilly terrain, and the furthest farm that we have from the home farm is 18 miles. And there's a lot of hills between here and there. We don't generally have to be able to talk from the field to the farm, but if everybody can hear what one guy is saying, then the message can get relayed, or somebody can grab something a little quicker than, you know, if you talk to the guy that was in the field, whether it be, you know, hey, I need a grease gun, or I need a, you know, gear oil, or something that you don't have right with you. Maybe somebody that's right near the shop can grab it and they can get it to you a lot quicker than waiting for the guy that's in the edge of the field. So let's go ahead and get this opened up, and we'll get this CB out of there and get this thing mounted into place. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove the CB out of here, which we had that mounted right up underneath the radio. Worked good. You could reach over, grab your controls, and do whatever like that there. And what we have is we are grabbing power from this power strip that's right down in underneath the seat here. So that's where we're going to grab power from. We're going to go ahead and remove this guy here. However, I don't feel that I need to have the, boy, I don't know. I could just leave the CB in here for now too, and then I wouldn't have that removed. But I believe I could just put this two-way radio right down in underneath the seat here, and then the mic will come up right through, and I can lay the mic on my lap or just drape it over the top of this arm here. So let me think about this for a hot second. Of course, we don't use the CB. I might as well remove it. So yeah, let's go with that. We'll remove it, and just happen to think that the radio could go down below. But we do need a spot to hang the mic from as well. Usually I just take this mic here and lay it into my lap or what have you, or just hang it back up on there, but it is a pain to grab it and whatever. I did have a thing hanging from here, but I got sick of that whacking me in the head all the time, so we just hang it up on the clip there. So we got some thinking to do. Alright, so we've got this out of the box here, and this radio doesn't have a faceplate on it at all because all of the controls are right on the mic itself, and you can remove this radio if you had a different bracket, and you could slap it into another machine if you want. So we've got the old CB out. We've got to pull the radio down. Once we get the radio pulled down, the bracket that the radio is in has nuts on the holder for the CB, and we have to take that apart so that we can mount this bracket just right in up under the radio. So I need to get that out, and then we can get this guy installed. The power cable that we're going to use, we're going to power right into the power strip. I'm going to cut this wire off. This is the power wire here. We'll just cut these eyelets off of there, and we'll use a couple of butt connectors to get it tied into this wire, because this power wire is not quite long enough to make it from the power strip up to where we have the where we're going to mount the radio. So let's get that done here now. Alright, so we have a location picked out, and that is right down here on the right hand side. The mic has obviously got to be plugged into it, and then this 575 doesn't have anything on the face of it. In other words, it doesn't have any on-off button or anything like that, so it isn't like you have to be able to get to it. Everything is on the mic. We had the CB mounted right there. I didn't really like the idea of it being there, but it's, you know, right in line to where you can run your volume and whatever like that. Being that we have the radio here, maybe I can hang the mic from here, or just drape it over the console here and then put it down in my lap, or bring it up around the back of the seat down it like this, which will be fine, or hang it from here. I haven't figured that part of it out yet. So the power cord I don't need to have any longer than what I thought, so we're just going to we've got our connectors on here already. We're just going to heat shrink these down and then plug it in. This mic clip, I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy, because I think I'm just going to hook a retractable cord on it, right, Nathan? Yep. Yeah. All right. Alright, we'll let that cool and get on with it here. So Jared has a, I don't remember what we ordered here. Is this a 500 or a 400? He's got a 500. So we're going to put this one in the 900, the W900. And this one is different than the 575. It has a screen on it, so he's just going to mount this where the CB goes, and or the CB was, and then he'll be able to turn it on and off right from it being on the dash. So that is the difference between these two. We're running a standard antenna that came with it, came with both units. And we're going to see what kind of range we get on that. We originally had the CB antenna mounted to the arm or the handrail there, we're gonna leave that bracket there because I'm not sure if we go to a different style antenna, if we're going to wanna maybe mount it right to that. So we're gonna see how the little tiny antenna works. We can show you that. We've got a little sticky pad that goes up on top of the cab here. That is right there, being that we're all plastic. That is a magnet mount antenna and it's only like 6 inches long. We're gonna give that a try and see how that works. But for now, that's what we're gonna use. We're gonna check the range of this here tomorrow. Okay, so here is the old equipment that came out of the chopper. We've got this radio all installed. We tested it out against the handhelds and it is working. However, I'm trying to decide where I want to hang this mic. I mean, for the most part, I could leave it laying right there on the console. I don't know. I've got a mic retractable cord doohickey thing here. I can hang that from the ceiling. At one time, I had an eyelet that screwed into the ceiling right there, and I had a mic to the CB screwed in there. But I don't know if I want to have this thing. I don't know if I want to be looking at this all the time. So I'm not sure what we're going to do with that. We'll have to get chopping here. Once we get at it tomorrow, I'll have to explore a couple of options here as far as what do I want to do with this mic. I might decide to just leave it laying on my lap like that, because if I bring it up around this side, it's going to be getting caught down in here. It might flip my switch off. It just might be a little annoying. The original thought was leave it draped right there, but then I got to reach over too far to grab it. So with that being said, that is going to do it for this video. I want to thank everybody for watching. And we'll catch you at the next one. We'll have to figure a few things out here tomorrow once we get running. So, yeah. Take it easy, folks. We'll catch you at the next one.